my friends. The healing is already beginning. Namaste, my friends. Welcome to our reintegration practice. So this is post-treatment and surgery when you're starting to feel a little bit more open. This could be a really good time to check in with your doctor or your physical therapist to make sure, but really listen to your own body, to know your own range of motion with integrity. So you're invited to move slowly, breathe deeply. Take the opportunity to let your awareness expand, if not the physical body. It will all happen in due time. I'll give stages and different phases of the movements so that if you're feeling you have a shortened range of motion, I'll give you opportunities to find that. And then if you have a bigger range that you can find, I'll also give you options to find that. So come on and join me on the mat. Now you're free to find a blanket or a cushion if you need to. I'll use one to sit right at the edge of, so that if you're a little tight in your thighs or in your hips, something to sit up on, I'll show you from the side, is really good, not to sit on the center of it, but to sit right at the edge of it, like you're tipping forward a little bit. It'll help move your pelvis so that you're not curled under if you're a little tight in your back or your hips, but then make sure that you're not sitting hinged forward. Move your torso more upright. This is just to keep the pelvis from curling under, right? So you might stack up a block, several blankets, depending on your range. You can also take some blocks or blankets and put them underneath your thighs. So I'll show you there as well. It's nice to have some handy props. If your thighs don't touch down to the ground, because your hip flexors are a little tight, you can take some blocks and put them underneath. There are different levels. You can take them flat or on their side, probably not that high, but say about here, right? And you can do the same thing with blankets. This is just to give you a point of contact. So if your thighs are up like that, you have something to rest them on, so you're not using your hip flexors in order to keep yourself in this shape, right? You want to relax into your hip flexors so that you can sit up well and start to open the inner thighs and the hips, right? So in my particular body, my hips are open, so I'm not going to use the blocks, but just know that they're there if you need them. And once you get yourself comfortable, no matter where or what you're sitting on, just let your spine move a little bit. So especially if you haven't had a lot of movement post-surgery or treatment, this alone can feel really good, or sometimes a little creaky. Like you're just starting to open something that's really tight. Feel free to circle your torso around or to make some undulations in your spine or your shoulders. Hands can move along the thighs or the knees. A little massage always helps. A little self-touch to your lower back, around your hips. And you're also free to change the position of your legs. So if a cross-legged seat doesn't feel good with those assistants, the prop assistants that we've used, you're free to stretch a leg out or to make it more even, bound angle, or the other leg out, or even both legs out if that feels better. right? However it works best, you can even sit up against a wall or your couch, or you could even do this sitting on a chair. So we're just going to be moving some muscles and joints in the upper body to start. And again, just working with your own range of motion, very compassionately, very inclusive, welcoming yourself exactly as you are. So please bring your hands to your heart space. See if you can allow your breath to be in and out through your nostrils, lips closed, very softly, teeth slightly parted. And if nostril breathing causes any kind of difficulty or stress, take some mouth breaths if you need to. As best as you can, we're tapping into the aspect of the nervous system that calms us down by nostril breathing. The rest and digest system is activated. And begin to feel a blossoming feeling or curiosity, perhaps a particular quality that you want to be infused with right now. As you inhale, let your hands come slightly away from your heart, slightly forward, and then exhale, come back to your heart, just like a pulse. Inhale, hands move slightly away, perhaps apart, and then come back. Inhale, we float away, and even open a bit more if you have the space and range. And exhale, come back. So you could stay with that smaller range or start to go a little bit bigger. Inhale and exhale. It's all pulsation. Inhale and exhale. Be appropriate with your body. Accommodate yourself. Inhale and exhale. And then again, if it feels appropriate, you might start to go a little bit bigger with the movement. Inhale and exhale. Can you feel how welcome you are? Inhale. Yes, this is the moving mudra meditation or moving gesture meditation that is prana mudra. So whether you move your hands a big range or a small range, just feel yourself being welcomed for wherever you are. Might change and flow in every moment, in every breath. It's like every moment is completely fresh and new and unique into itself, just like you are. In every moment, like waves on an ocean. Showing up a little bit different today than yesterday, but always recognizing a feeling within you. Some knowing. And next time your arms are open, again, no matter how far, whether it's here or here or here, pause there. And again, there might be some swaying. It's just building up a little bit of strength, keeping your arms lifted. And you might start to spread your collarbones again, no matter where, how far your arms are. Feel your shoulder blades on your back. Circle your wrists. And again, if it feels like it's too much, you can put your hands down, rest them on your knees and still circle. Some of you might still have your arms open. So many different ways to approach movement in your own body. Reverse the circle. I love swaying. I just find that it's so soothing. So I'm going to continue with that. You might stop in stillness, feeling the inner movement always of your breath, your heartbeat, thoughts. You don't have to stop anything from happening. Just create a safe container for it. And then lower your hands back down. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Take your left hand right into your left hip crease and walk your right hand a little further out away from your body. And again, you're going to determine how far. So some of you might stay a little bit closer and some of you are going to move a little further out. You don't have to put too much weight into it. Just start to tip your body towards the side, towards the right, and keep your left sit bone rooted down. Now, again, some of you are going to stay small in range of motion. This might be enough. Some of you are going to go out a little bit further, but keep that left sit bone rooted. Now, if you have some range here, you can take your left fingertips to your shoulder. Feel a little bit more. You can start to stretch your arm like Prana Mudra. And some of you might stretch your arm all the way up to the ceiling. So do you notice that all of these options are so good, starting to open your body in your own way? Feel free to turn or roll through the spine or move your head. And then see how much breath you can take into your left side body. Again, no matter where your arm is. Listen to your own body. You don't have to follow me in terms of where my arm is. I'm just offering options. Breathing right into your side body. On your next inhale, come on back up. Let your hands rest on your knees or your thighs and just see if you can notice. You might feel some bigger breath capacity in your left side. Now, if your legs are asymmetrical, if one leg is crossed in front of the other, switch legs now. Or if one leg was extended out, extend the other leg out. Yeah, just so we keep the hips as even as possible. All right, so from your hands on your thighs, take your left hand down to the ground, right alongside your hip. And then again, see if you have range of motion to go a little further, not sitting into that hand, not weight bearing, but strong through your side waist, through your obliques. Some of you might start to send the hand out a little bit further. Let's all put the right hand into the right hip crease to root down through your sit bone and your buttock as you're starting to reach over, to lean over. So we're tipping the body, tipping the torso. And again, some of you might take the arm a little bit further out. And some of you are going to keep it closer in, but opening up this right side body. So options here to keep your hand on your hip crease, stay rooted down, or take the hand to the right shoulder, start to feel a little bit more. Some of you might find Prana Mudra in your arm and the soft elbow and open palm. Some of you might straighten the arm up to the sky, right? So the range of motion is going to be totally different depending on your body. And feel all of those kramas or stages or steps, right? How you feel comfortable. So, and then breathe into your right side body, no matter where you're at. You might even put your hand there and feel breath, expanding your ribs. And if you have your arm extended, some of you might go with your arm over your ear. Make sure you're not collapsing into the chest. If that's happening, let's find a different placement for your hand or your arm. Take another full deep in breath to Come all the way up, and then let your hands rest on your thighs. Eyes open or closed. With outer movement or stillness. Nostril breathing. Now keep your left hand on your left knee or thigh, right hand to your hip crease, and begin to turn your body towards the right. Left hand on your left knee, right hand to the hip crease. Just turning the torso so you feel the rooted quality of your lower body. Just turning the upper body. Now you can keep your right hand here or take it back behind you. It's going to open the chest a little bit more, engage the muscles on your back body a bit more as well. So again, be appropriate. Sit up well, big inhale. You can use that back hand for leverage or this grounded hand into your hip, and then see if you can find a little bit more twist. You can press your left hand into the left knee. Again, this is going to give you some bigger range. And you don't have to stay in stillness, my friends. You are free to move here, move your spine, move your head. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper into this twist, go ahead and take your left hand across to right knee. It's going to revolve you a little bit more. So again, these are all options, more moderate, a bit more intense, and then even more intense. Take another full deep in breath here where you are, sit up well. And as you exhale, unwind, come back to center. And again, if you'd like to switch the cross of your legs, if you've been in a particular place for a while, you're free to do so. If you want to shake them out a bit before you change, rock your legs, point, flex your feet, or move into the toes, you're free to do so. Allow yourself to be comfortable. Left hand into the left hip crease, right hand to your right knee. Sit up well, ground down. So let's actually make sure that you're not on the knee joint itself. On the thigh or a fleshy part of your leg is way safer than pressing down into a joint. So sit up well, and then start to turn your torso towards the left, and you'll find just the right range, right? So it might be a little bit of pulsation, and go with such compassion that you're not pushing yourself to the furthest place. You're moving on breath and intention, and a kind wave of energy. So if you're finding that you have a little bit more range here, you could take that left hand and place it back behind you. And you're not poking your ribs out. There's a quality of hugging in the belly. You're not jamming shoulders up to your ears. Shoulders are away and open. And then finally, if you have a little bit more space you want to play with, take that right hand across to your left knee. You'll find that there's more stretch around your shoulder blade, right shoulder blade. And there's a bigger twist that's going to happen as you turn more towards the left. You can move the head or move your rib cage or your torso, your spine, your shoulders. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, unwind, come back to center. Breathing. Bring your hands to your heart. And then as you inhale again, start to open the arms. Find the range of motion that suits you. And then as you exhale, as you bring your hands to your heart now, bow. Bow your head. I'm going to show you from the side. Rounding the spine, coiling in, hugging your belly, even curling the tail under. And then as you inhale, sit up and emerge. So a little bit different now, adding some spinal movement. And then exhale to coil. So you can find just the same arm movements that you did before. They can be as small or as big as possible, but let this be more about the spine lifting. So some of you might be able to take arms broader, And then exhale. When you come in, there's that curling in feeling, that gazing within, looking within. Inhale and open as far open as you can get your arms, your shoulders, your chest. And then exhale to curl in. Let's do that 3 more rounds. Your range of motion. So seated cat's breaths. 2 more. So deeply aware how you're opening. It's okay if your pace is slower or faster than mine. Let's do 1 more together. And exhale. Now sit up well. Let's combine all the movements together. So open your arms as far open as you can. As you exhale, right hand is going to come down by your side. Left hand is either going to be in the hip crease or shoulder or up and overhead. And then come back up to center on your next inhale. Remember your range of motion. And then exhale, other side. Left hand down, right hand might be in the hip crease, shoulder, or up and overhead. Inhale your way up. And then exhale, twist towards your right. So left hand on the knee or across. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist left. So remember, you can go as big as you like or as modified as you need it to be. And inhale back to center and exhale to heart. Let's do it again. Inhale to open. Exhale to coil. Inhale to open. Exhale, side bend. Find your range. Inhale, open. Exhale, side bend. Again, you find your range to the left. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Feels so good to flow. Exhale, twist left. One more time all the way through. Inhale, Prana Mudra. And exhale, coil. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Exhale, side bend right. I'm going with my range of motion. You go with your appropriate one. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Exhale, side bend left. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Exhale, twist right. Inhale at center. And exhale, twist left. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, Prana Mudra. Exhale, hands down. That feels like enough. Pause there. You might even turn the video off and be in your own space of meditation, or lie down in Shavasana, lying down meditation, or get ready to move on with your day. But if you're feeling that you want a little bit more, stay with me. So if you've had your fill, please enjoy your day, moving with awareness. If you're sticking around in practice, take your hands around back behind you. And again, just being aware of your range of motion. So some of you are going to be a little bit closer to the body. Others might be a little further away, further back behind you, or even further out to the sides. We're going to free both legs and stretch them out in front with a little bounce, a little rock, point flex of the feet. circling of the ankles and reversing. I'm going to take some bigger movements. So again, appropriately for your body. Flex the feet, bend the right knee, take your hands to the right shin and hug in and sit up well. I'll show you from the side. So you might still be on your blanket or you might be down on the ground. We're hugging the knee in and sitting up well. And that left foot is flexed. And then the option here is to stay right as you are or come into a twist. So you could keep your left hand on the knee and take your right hand alongside the body or further back behind you and turn your torso towards the right. Left foot stays flexed, left heel presses down. Now, if you feel you have a little bit more range, stretch for your chest, your shoulder, and even in the twist, take your elbow around the knee, sit up well, you'll draw yourself in closer. This will be a nice outer hip stretch. Stay up high on the back fingertips without jamming your shoulder into your ear. So make sure you're using that back hand as leverage to stay more upright. Big inhale here. And as you exhale, unwind, come back to center. Open the right knee out to the side. Now again, if it doesn't touch down into the ground, you don't want to be tightening up your hip flexor. So you're free to take a blanket or a block, place it underneath so you have a point of contact. This might be more underneath your thigh, depending on how high up your leg is, your knee is. So just anchoring it down on something, not jamming it, opening this hip crease. So again, feel yourself rooted down. You might even move fleshy part of your buttocks away from the sit bones. And some of you keeping the hands back behind you. Sit up well, lift your chest, and then a slight twist over your left leg. So lengthening, lifting, slight twist, and then start to hinge forward over that left leg. So you'll start to feel the stretch in your left hamstrings, in your back, in your hips. Listen to your body. So there might be some pulsation here, like, oh, I feel that stretch sensation. I'm going to come up out of it and then pulse back into it, right? If it feels like it's too much. Some of you might be able to bring the hands out in front, but make sure that you're not collapsing if you're doing that. So sometimes it feels better to keep hands behind you. Some of you with bigger range and more allowance for stretch might walk the hands forward, right? So again, this is all very incremental and very appropriate for your own body. So you'll notice the moment as you're descending with a long spine, and again, I'll show you from the side, a long spine, not a rounded spine, but staying in extension, right, over the leg, where your body, your lower back and your hamstrings are saying, okay, okay, that's enough. And here's a place where you can move and breathe, those nostril breaths. You might touch. And then see if there's an invitation to go in deeper with a long spine. You might do that several times to pause and wait and listen before you actually let the head drop and the upper back round. So that's the very end of the pose, is to drop in. Even if you're up here, there can be some dropping in. Right? Just make sure that however far in you go in with a sense of spaciousness, not collapsing. And then be there, breathe there, wherever that is for you. And no matter what it looks like, there's an essence, a feeling state that goes beyond the outer form. Just make sure you're not hurting yourself. Being very kind. As you're ready to come out, lead with your heart. Always good to lead with the heart, in and out, and then rise all the way up. And then you can lean back into the hands again if you have range to do that, or maybe you're leaning back into a couch. Stretch your other leg out, give them a bounce, a rock, circle, and move these out of the way. And then we'll go to the other leg. So now you're going to keep the right leg straight, bend your left knee, you can wrap your arms around it and sit up well. So you're digging your right heel down. You're not lifting it up in any way, right? You're not hyperextending that knee, and you're drawing your heart closer to your bent knee, right? Hug your belly in, root your sit bones and your tailbone towards the ground as you rise up through the crown. And then we'll start to find a twist. Right hand on that left shin. Left hand it could start on your hip, but if you can, down into the ground. Again, we're sitting up well. Turn the torso towards the left. If you have more range, take your left hand back behind you, sitting up well. And again, there may be some pulsation. Listen, the same way that we've been working in this listening. So there might be a moving in and out of postures. We're not forcing, we're not jamming anything. You're doing this to feel good, not to overdo. So if you have more space here, wrap your elbow crease around and see if you can get a little bit more twist. We're not taking the knee across the body. Keep it stable. The torso is twisting. I just always find that pulsating movement helps me find deeper range of motion with a feeling of safety. Never jamming myself into the furthest place. Take another breath here. Fully exhale. And then inhale your way back to center. Open the knee out. Remember, you're free to cushion it. Take your hands back behind you, sit up well, and a little twist over that right leg. Just a slight torso twist, just so you're not coming down the center line, right? So you're angled over that right leg. We're going in to this twist over the right leg. So hands back behind you, get a little leverage, a little bit of length, and then begin to hinge forward. So remember that when we're coming forward, again, we're not necessarily going down, coming forward, you're stretching the chest out, stretching the heart forward like an offering, right? Not caving it into yourself and going down that way, but going like you're reaching out with love, that you're blossoming into your own heart. And there may be a moment where your body says, okay, hang on one moment. Let's listen to this space here. And then maybe some movement or pulsation. You might bring your hands in front or touch. And that might be it. And then you can soften and round your upper back. But sometimes the body says, okay, there's a little bit more space. Go ahead and explore. You might come forward with the heart even more. Bigger hamstring stretch, bigger lower back stretch. And then you pause and listen, again, sometimes with movement or touch. And that might be it. Or again, you round and bow. But sometimes there's a little bit more. And body says yes. And wherever it is that you've landed, whether you're more upright or whether you're further in, you're simply listening. Eyes may be closed. You feel the nostril breaths, the rest and digest. Trust that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. And then when you're ready to emerge out, lead with your heart. Stretch your heart forward and up. And then again, hands back behind you. Stretch the left leg out. Give the legs a little bounce, rock, shake. You can touch, stroke, breathe. And then let your feet be towards the top of your mat. You're invited to bend your knees, take your hands underneath your thighs, or keep the legs straight if that's feeling good for you. But wherever you are, flex your feet and press the heels down. Lift your heart up and then begin to curl your tailbone under. We're going to start to roll down. Now, if you need more support, you can hold on to your thighs and move your heels in, even curl up as much as you need to. Some of you who are feeling a little bit stronger in your chest and shoulders, you can put your forearms down to roll down. We're coming to lie all the way down on our backs. So in whatever way feels best for you, and some of you is reaching the legs out, you can roll down this way. So however you get down, allow yourself to be grounded. One hand on your heart, one hand on the belly. You can go ahead and let your legs separate a little bit wider. Feet flop out to the sides. And again, notice your nostril breathing. And this may guide you into a space where your eyes close. Your arms can come down alongside your body with palms facing up. Allow yourself to dissolve into Shavasana. Quality of grounding, of letting go, of merging. You're free to cover yourself with a blanket. And if this particular position doesn't feel good, you are free to bend your knees, put a cushion or bolster under your knees. That often helps lower backs. Put a blanket or a cushion underneath your head. Some of you might want to be on your side. You can have a blanket in between your knees or a pillow, and something under your head. Find a way to make yourself as comfortable as possible. Some of you might want to sit up, be in a seated meditation, or on a couch or a chair or your bed. Eyes open or closed. Feel your body being breathed. And relax. Relax your body. Let the ground or whatever surface you're on hold you. Give your weight. And know you are supported. If you're sitting, you are free to even slump a little bit. So you give your full weight. Feel yourself here. Feel the truest essence of yourself here. Observe the way you feel. Allow for all of it. So feel free to continue your relaxation. You might pause this here and keep going. But if you're ready to move to the next phase of your day or your evening, you can begin to open your eyes. Full inhale through your nostrils. And then open your mouth and sigh it out. Oh. You can do that again a couple of times if it felt good. And then start to move some fingers and toes. If you're lying down on the ground, you might bring your knees into your chest and rock. If you've been sitting for a while, you might start to stretch your shoulders or even bend your knees and wrap around. So let's all come into that shape, no matter where you are. Bring your knees in, wrap your arms around, give yourself a hug. If that's not accessible to you, you could take your arms and just wrap them around your chest. Embracing yourself, cherishing yourself, welcoming yourself, remembering yourself. If you're down on the ground, you can start to rock to one side and gently press yourself up to seated. And then allow the hands to come to your heart. Let's layer them one on top of the other, circling around the heart space. In such gratitude for this body and everything that it's teaching you, people around you. So much gratitude for the teachings. Every experience is like that. Every experience has some wisdom to it, even the painful ones, and perhaps especially the painful ones. So much wisdom. So lift your heart up, bow your head to the wisdom of your heart, the wisdom of your body, and perhaps this new way of listening and deep, deep gratitude. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with us, for sharing yourself and your time. I'd love to hear back from you. Please let us know how you're doing and what you might need going forward. With lots of healing love for your journey forward. Thank you so much again. Namaste. I see the light in you. And our light together, when we see it, becomes one, becomes a brighter light in the universe. Namaste. Go easy on that healing path. Go easy on yourself. See the light within you. Stay compassionate.